Chapter 21. Experiment Notes. Milo Neal. 12/14/96. Riddle. How many Minnesotans does it take to kidnap a chicken? Answer. Just one. But who? Okay, it wasn't very funny, but it got me through the 3 toughest days of my life. Days where every face in the school hall seemed like it could belong to a potential specimen napper. Days where I couldn't walk past a simple, innocent house in St. Martin without wondering if my subject was being held within. The interesting part was that I didn't really care anymore. I no longer lay awake at night wondering if the culprit equaled KMG, AL, or Sheila M, JS, and or LM, a hockey player, or some diehard chicken activist I didn't even know. I forgave them all individually and blamed the town. St. Martin, Minnesota killed my project. It was the fault of this small, frostbitten city that I was about to pass off a bucket of real Dixie fried chicken, extra crispy, as a science experiment. It's better this way, my mother assured me. Better for who? Further study required. But my sarcastic reply was interrupted by the phone. Probably ZG to see when I was going over to the community center. He had volunteered to hang out with me at the science fair. Big surprise. Actually, I was happy to have company. I didn't want to face the judges alone with my non-project. Milo? My mom called from the kitchen phone. It's almost time to go, I reminded her. It's your father. Sonic the Hedgehog wouldn't have beaten me to the receiver. My dad was usually so busy that these calls could be kind of rare. Hi, son. Freezing yet? This equals his standard greeting ever since we moved to Minnesota. Only since Labor Day, I grinned. The phone connection was fuzzy and distorted. Where are you? 27,000 feet over Iowa, came the reply. I'm on the plane, Milo. I should make it to the science fair in time for the judging. Yes! My heart raced. I hadn't seen my father since September, except on TV. Only, suddenly, I remembered my project. Victor Neal wasn't going to be very impressed by just a few notes and a bucket of fast food. Dad, I just want to warn you. A burst of static came over the line. I'm losing you, son. What did you say? Just that my project kind of messed up, I said, raising my voice. Why does it always feel as if shouting will improve a bad connection? It has no scientific basis, further study required. It's kind of a long story, but I don't think my father could hear me. He said, blasted phone, and the line went dead. He's coming? My mother asked. When I nodded, she smiled. A real smile. I appreciated that. For 4 months, I'd been dying for my dad to visit. And now, he was finally coming. Just in time to see me disgrace the Neal family in the name of science, which equals his life's work. For some crazy reason, I couldn't wait to tell ZG. Out of all the people I knew in Minnesota and California, he'd be the only one to see the irony. Chapter 22. Rangers Update. Captain Adam Laree reporting. The first scary thing about playing the Canadians was watching them arrive. Have you ever seen 20 gorillas get off a bus? It gives you a sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. And when you see the occasional little guy in there, you're thinking how fast or how good he must be, or what an amazing shot he must have to make the best junior high team in Winnipeg. If you think I was nervous, you should have seen Brendan. I was afraid he'd melt onto the blacktop of the community center parking lot. Are you sure these guys are our age? He babbled, his face green. Maybe they sent a high school team by mistake. Look, that one's got a mustache! It's just a little dirt on his face, I said quietly. See? They don't wash! They're like cave people! That one looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger! I can't play these guys! They'll score 50 on me! Don't talk like that, snapped Steve. We won the championship with you! You won the championship in spite of me! Brandon corrected Billy. You're the Wall, I insisted. But deep down I knew he'd never be the real Wall. Never measure up to his brother. He was trying. He was a great kid. But that didn't stop pucks. Watching the Canadians lumbering into the community center, I realized those giants were going to eat Brendan for lunch. Laffy cleared his throat carefully. I talked to Coach Crenshaw after school yesterday. He said these guys are the Red River Junior High Rebels. Remember St. Boniface who skunked us last year? The Rebels beat them by 5 goals. Thanks, said Joey sarcastically. He looked terrible. Tension over Henrietta and the big game had brought about another breakup with Lynette. Look, I said, none of this stuff should be a great shock. We knew the Canadians were going to be awesome. What'd you expect, a bunch of shrimps and ballet tutus? No, Brendan replied, but let's all calm down, I interrupted. Go home for lunch. I'll see you guys back here at game time. My confidence was all fake. Lunch may as well have been fried styrofoam for all I tasted it. I couldn't relax. And I was practically a wreck by the time I arrived at La Casa Loser to pick up Henrietta for the game. I found Zachary the same way. My mom's on the warpath, he admitted, his face turned away from Henrietta's flapping wings. As he pulled her box out from under his bed, she found out I got a D- on the history of pens. I unzipped the spare equipment bag, which was Henrietta's golden carriage to the ball. What'd you expect? It was garbage. I'm pretty happy with it, the dweeb told me. I expected to get an F. I picked up Henrietta. She seemed to be in a peculiar mood today, flapping her wings and resisting my grip. What's with the bird? I grimaced, stuffing her in the duffel. He shrugged. She's like that every day for me. Crash! All of a sudden, a little Hot Wheels car came flying out of nowhere and bounced off the computer on Zachary's desk. My eyes shifted to the doorway. There stood Dewey Gustafson, the micro-dweeb, his arm cocked back to throw another car. Doomsday! Zachary hurled himself in front of the computer. While in mid-air, he reached out an arm and knocked down the flying toy. Go Zach, I laughed. Whoever would have expected such a big loser to pull off a slick athletic move? Seriously, that was highlight film stuff. But the baby wasn't done yet. He had a whole pile of cars in his feet, and he threw them all at the computer. I watched in amazement. Dewey fired a convertible at the printer. Smack! Zachary's hand shot out to slap it away. He stopped a fire engine with his chest. He deflected an ambulance with a high flailing sneaker. Nothing got by him. Come on, Adam! He panted. Grab him! But I was really enjoying the acrobatic display. Nice save, I cheered. And I realized it was a save. Just like a hockey goalie's. Only I'd like to see Brendan do that. Heck, I'd be interested to see if his brother Tony could pull off some of Zachary's moves. Then I caught sight of an old pair of skates in the corner of the dweeb's closet. And it hit me like 4,000 pounds of wet cement. The Rangers needed a goalie. Man, our own goalie thought we needed a goalie. And here, before my very eyes, was the greatest natural stopper of all time. Sure, he was untrained. He'd probably never strapped on pads in his life, but desperate times called for desperate measures. If we were going to have any chance at all against the Canadians, Zachary Gustafson, the grand poobah of the Loyal Order of Losers, was going to stand in goal for the South Middle School Rangers. Unbelievable, but true. I grabbed his little brother to stop the attack. Hey, Zach, I began. Got any plans today? Took him a minute to catch his breath. Well, I'll probably drop by the heist at the science fair and see how Milo's. He stopped and looked at me in suspicion. Why? The micro-dweeb started kicking at my ankles, but I ignored him. How would you like to be a hero and fight for the honor of your school? Zachary made a face at me. I'm not going to hold the chicken. She'll pick my eyes out. It's got nothing to do with the chicken, I insisted. You're going to be the Rangers' new goalie. He couldn't have been more shocked if I told him he'd been elected homecoming queen. He just gawked at me, so he kept on going. Yeah, I know you've never played before, but trust me, you're awesome. I watch you protect your computer. You've got all the moves. It sounds crazy, but you can do this. He stared at me while all this sunk in. Then a slimy look took shape on his used car salesman features. I'm banned from the rink, remember? Besides, what makes you think I want to help out your stupid hockey team? I don't recall you muscleheads going out of your way to be nice to me. That's ancient history, I said quickly. Come on, and bring your skates. But Zachary wasn't finished. I'm having a vision. His eyes closed like a fortune teller. 3 words, dweeb and geek, and we were just joking, I offered lamely. Loser! He spat it out. Wait, I'm having another memory. Oh, come on. Wedgies, Zachary said angry. I remember a lot of wedgies. Now get your hands off my brother, take your chicken, and beat it! There comes a point in every cool person's life where he has no choice but to get down on his knees and beg a dweeb. There was no question this was my time. I took a deep breath and swallowed a smorgasbord of pride. I apologized for everything every Ranger had ever said or done to Zachary. And I swore on the legends of Gordie Howe and Wayne Gretzky and all the hockey greats that no Ranger would ever so much as look funny at him starting today until the end of time. Even if I stink, Zachary added, and I knew I'd won. You won't! I unhanded the baby and shouldered the square equipment bag. The Canadiens game was a major tradition, so the community center was bustling. The arena was right across the foyer from the exhibition hall, so there was a huge traffic jam as hockey fans streamed around the science fair nerds who were maneuvering bulky projects through the crowd into the fair. Zachary tried to run into the exhibition hall. Just let me talk to Milo. No time, I said, putting an iron grip on his dweeby soldiers. Hey, Milo, he called into the busy hall, waving his arms. But I dragged him across the foyer and into our dressing room. Coach Crenshaw was in the middle of a lecture about how he didn't want us to get spooked by playing out without Henrietta. I rushed in and hoisted the spare equipment bag so the guys would know our mascot was there. A huge sigh of relief pure went up. Good, the coach approved. I'm glad you guys have gotten over that crazy superstition. I want to hear everybody say it. The chicken doesn't skate. The chicken doesn't skate, we repeated. Squawk! The coach frowned, and I thought we were nailed for sure, when the team finally noticed Zachary. To say that he got a standing ovation would be a lie. The guys were ready to lynch him. And me for suggesting he might be our goalie. Are you nuts? He cheered against us! Get that creep out of here! Come on, Laurie, Coach Crenshaw added. We did fine with our team the way it is. We're South Minnesota champions. We don't have to panic and make a bunch of crazy adjustments at the last minute. The babble of protests swelled up again, but Brendan quieted everyone down with a shrill, let's listen to what he has to say. Desperately, I collected my thoughts, searching for a way to convince everyone that this world-class loser should be a Ranger. I know it's weird, but you gotta believe me. He could be the best goalie we've ever had. Better than Brendan, even better than Tony. The wall? My teammates recoiled in amazement. I looked from face to face. Look, I'm as loyal as anybody, but you all know we're going to get killed today. Give the dweeb, Zachary, a chance. It's our only hope, Brendan added. At first I thought Coach Crenshaw was going to put up an argument. Instead, he just said, do it. I started strapping Brendan's goalie pads onto Zachary's skinny legs. Aren't you gonna tell them about our deal? He whispered as I tightened the Velcro straps. You know, no more wedgies. Later, I muttered nervously. If my teammates had been skeptical before, now they were on the point of revolution. Stupid Zachary could barely stand in all that goalie equipment. Once on the rink, he skated in tiny staccato steps, like a 4-year-old who was just learning. When we put him in net for his warm-up shots, he fell, bashing his face mask hard against the ice. We picked him up, dazed and wobbly, but he couldn't manage a goalie's crouch. Instead, he slumped, with his gold glove and stick arms hanging limp at his sides. He made no move to go after the easy practice shots slid by the team. "Laurie, have you gone crazy?" the coach rasped at me. "This kid's not a goalie. He can barely stand on his feet." I skated over to Zachary. No, I shouted. "Pretend the net is your computer and the puck is all that stuff your baby brother throws at it." The buzzer went off, signifying the start of the game. For me, it was like hearing the church bells of my own funeral. "We need more time," I pleaded the ref. But he waved me into position for the national anthems. I skated to the circle, feeling like my intestines had been hollowed out by piranhas. My deepest fear had just come true. In my crazed desire to have a chance against the Canadiens, I had destroyed my own team.